Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into something that honestly might change how you view success. Picture this. Angela Duckworth. She's teaching math in New York City,
Right.
and she sees something odd, the kids with the top IQ scores.
Hmm.
Not always the top performers, it was others, the ones with this relentless commitment.
Yeah, tenacious kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unpack this. If pure innate talent isn't the be-all and end-all, then, well, what is?
What's fascinating here, really, is that this single observation basically kickstarted her whole research career. And the answer she landed on, she calls it grit.
Grit.
Yeah, it's this powerful mix of passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. So our mission today is to really dig into what grit means and how it sort of pushes back against our usual ideas about achievement.
And her own story is just perfect, isn't it? The irony. Her dad apparently used to tell her, you're no genius.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then she goes on to win a MacArthur Genius Grant for her work on grit.
You can't make it up. And it's not just a neat story. She gathered some serious evidence, like West Point. Their beast barracks, summer training, super intense.
Notoriously tough, yeah.
Totally. And Duckworth found that grit predicted who'd stick it out better than the Academy's own complex scores. SATs, fitness, the whole package. Cadets high in grit, something like 99% more likely to finish.
99%? That's staggering.
It really is. Or look at the National Spelling Bee. Same pattern. The grittier kids went further.
Yeah.
Why? Because they put in way more hours of that really focused, deliberate practice.
So, okay, she saw this in her class. It led to grit. But what is grit exactly? Is it just pure determination, or is there more to it?
It's definitely more nuanced than just trying hard. She breaks it down actually into two main parts in her grit scale. First is perseverance of effort.
Okay, perseverance.
Right. So that's your stamina, your stick-to-itiveness when things get difficult, bouncing back from setbacks,
Yeah,
not giving up.
makes sense. And the second part?
The second is consistency of interest. And this one's really important. It's about keeping your eye on the prize, staying focused on those really long-term goals, not getting distracted by every new shiny thing that comes along.
Ah, okay, so you need both.
You absolutely need both. It's like having a powerful engine that's the perseverance, but also a reliable compass or maybe a rudder. That's the consistency of interest, keeping you on track.
I think the bit that really shifted my thinking was her formula. Simple, but wow, talent times effort equals skill.
Right.
And then skill times effort equals achievement. The big takeaway, effort counts twice.
Exactly. Effort counts twice. Think about what that means. We're often so obsessed with natural talent, right?
Totally.
This just flips that script. It suggests that effort applied consistently and deliberately is what truly drives achievement over time. Talent without that effort, it's just potential that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, unmet potential.
Which also helps us see what grit isn't. It's not quite the same as resilience. That's more about bouncing back from a single event. And it's not just persistence, which could just be banging your head against the same wall.
Right. Persistence without direction isn't grit.
Precisely. Grit is that specific blend. Sustained effort plus that guiding passion aimed at a really significant long-term goal.
This really brings up a big question, doesn't it, about the whole talent myth. Society loves the idea of innate genius.
Oh, definitely.
But that idea can be so limiting. It ties right into what Carol Dweck talks about with mindsets, a fixed mindset where you think I'm either good at this or I'm not. That locks you in.
Yeah, it traps you.
But a growth mindset, the belief that you can develop abilities through hard work, that seems absolutely essential for grit to even take root.
It makes you reevaluate, doesn't it? How often do we maybe blame a lack of talent when maybe it was more about a lack of sustained, focused effort? And look, this shift in perspective is probably why her work just exploded. The book was huge. The TED Talk is one of the most viewed because it resonates. And importantly, it offers some practical things, too.
Exactly. It's not just theory. What can you actually do? I love her hard thing rule for families.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Everyone picks something challenging, commits to it for a set period like a season or until a natural endpoint. And crucially, they choose it. It builds that muscle.
Well, for kids and adults. And it underlines a key point. This isn't about blaming people if they aren't succeeding. It's about figuring out how to build environments, systems that actually nurture grit.
Right. It's about support, not blame. So let's bring it back to you listening right now. What does this mean for your life? 2 quick takeaways. First, think about your own mindset towards talent. Are you leaning fixed or growth, honestly? How might your actions change if you fully embrace the idea that effort is the main driver?
That's a powerful reflection.
And second, identify one major long-term goal, something you're genuinely passionate about. Write it down. Let that be your compass.
Your North Star.
Yeah, exactly. Now, for one final thought to chew on, what if where you are right now, your current abilities, what if that's just a starting point, not your final destination?
Ooh, I like that.
Imagine the potential you could unlock if you truly believed that your effort, sustained over time, is the most critical factor in your success. What might become possible then?
Okay, let's dig into this. There's this pervasive idea out there, right, that amazing achievements, the virtuoso musician, the star athlete, it's all down to just raw, innate talent. Like a high IQ is the golden ticket.
It really is everywhere, that myth.
Mm.
And it can make you feel kind of passive, like you either have it or you don't.
Exactly, just watching from the sidelines.
But psychologist Angela Duckworth found something really different, almost stumbled upon it, actually. She was teaching middle school math.
Oh, right. I remember reading about this.
Yeah, and she noticed the students who were really nailing it, the ones consistently doing well. They weren't always the ones who scored highest on, IQ tests or aptitude tests.
So who were they?
They were the grinders, the ones who showed up, kept asking questions, kept working at it, especially when things got tough. It was their diligence, their persistence that really stood out.
Diligence, not just natural smarts. And that core idea, that persistence, that's what she called grit, isn't it?
Precisely. Grit. And it's more than just, trying hard. She defines it as this powerful mix of passion and perseverance, specifically for very long-term goals.
Right, long-term. And the passion part here is fascinating because she kind of reframes it completely.
Totally reframes it. We usually think of passion like this sudden firework, you just find it one day, boom.
Yeah, this eureka moment.
But Duckworth says, it's not something you find fully formed. It's more like a compass that you slowly, deliberately develop. You cultivate it over time.
So it's like she says, living life like a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. It's about sticking with that ultimate goal for the long haul.
Okay, so that's what we want to unpack today in this deep dive, right? This grit formula. How do you actually build it, not just hope you stumble across it? How can you apply this?
Right. So if passion is developed, how does that actually happen? Duckworth lays out these 4 key psychological assets. They sort of build on each other, growing passion from the inside out.
What are they?
Okay, so they are interest, practice, purpose, and hope.
Interest, practice, purpose, hope. I always found the order interesting, especially purpose coming like third. You'd think purpose has to be the starting point, wouldn't you?
That's a really common assumption. But her research suggests purpose, that feeling that your work matters to others, that it has meaning beyond yourself, often comes after you've already sparked an interest and put in the work to get good at something.
So you get interested, you practice and build skill, then you connect it to a larger purpose.
Often, yes. It's like that old parable of the 3 bricklayers. You ask them what they're doing. One says, I'm laying bricks. The second says, I'm building a church.
Okay.
But the third, the one who likely has more experience and deeper connection, says, I'm building the house of God. That deeper sense of purpose, that calling, often emerges through the engagement itself.
That makes a lot of sense. And what about hope? Where does that fit in? It's not just like wishing for the best, is it?
No, not at all. In Duckworth's model, hope is really active. It's this resilient belief that your efforts can actually improve your future. It's basically synonymous with having a growth mindset.
The growth mindset idea, believing your abilities aren't fixed.
Exactly. It's the belief that you can get better through hard work, through learning from setbacks. It's like that Japanese proverb, fall 7, rise 8. You get back up because you believe rising is possible, that your effort matters.
Okay, so you develop this compass, this passion built on interest, practice, purpose, and hope. How do you then, keep going day after day? That's the perseverance part.
That's where her concept of the goal hierarchy comes in. It's like the engine for perseverance. Gritty people tend to organize their goals in a kind of pyramid structure.
A pyramid, how does that work?
At the very top, there's usually one single overarching top-level goal. This is your ultimate concern, the thing that's an end in itself. It's your just because goal.
You just because. I like that.
Yeah. Then below that, you have mid-level goals. These are the key objectives that serve the top-level goal. And supporting those is a wide base of low-level goals, the daily, weekly tasks, the concrete things you do. Everything ideally connects upwards.
Okay, but what about quitting? We're always told never give up, but sometimes you have to quit something, right? How does that fit with grit?
This is crucial. Duckworth calls it the gritty secret. Be stubborn about your top-level goal, but flexible about the lower levels.
So stubborn at the top, flexible below.
Exactly. You are absolutely unwavering about that ultimate just because, but you should be willing, even eager, to quit or change a low-level task or a mid-level strategy if it's not working. Quitting a method that isn't serving your ultimate aim, that can actually be the gritty thing to do because it redirects your energy effectively.
That's a powerful distinction. So it's not about blindly persisting with something that's failing.
Not at all. It's intelligent persistence.
Yeah.
And when you get this hierarchy aligned well, when your daily actions feel connected to that ultimate purpose, she calls it aerodynamic pursuit.
Aerodynamic pursuit. Sounds smooth.
It is. It's when your efforts feel coherent and meaningful. It leads not just to getting things done, but also to a deeper sense of well-being.
So wrapping this up, the big message here seems to be that grit isn't some fixed trait you're just born with, right?
Absolutely not. It's something you can build. It's about your mindset, your habits. It's malleable, cultivable at any age. Talent alone doesn't dictate your potential for high achievement.
Which is incredibly empowering. So for you listening, the takeaway is this. Passion isn't some lottery ticket you're waiting to find. It's that compass you can actively choose to build. And perseverance isn't just gritting your teeth. It's applying that passion intelligently and strategically.
Well said.
And our final thought for you today, something practical. Try choosing just one tool to start building your grit. Maybe it's starting that why exercise. Just keep asking, why is this important about something you do until you hit that fundamental just because. Or maybe commit to a hard thing using the hard thing rule.
Yeah.
You pick it, you can't quit just because you had a bad day and you see it through to a natural endpoint.
Yeah, just taking that one small intentional step.
Exactly. That fourth step is how you start building your own grit, your own code for a life with more passion, more perseverance, and ultimately more fulfillment.
Welcome back. If you've ever felt stuck, like you're putting in the hours but not really getting better, well, today's deep dive is for you. We're looking at grit, deliberate practice. Because that old saying, practice makes perfect, it's frankly a bit dangerous if you take it literally.
It really is. Just repeating something mindlessly, that's not the path to mastery. Not at all.
So our mission today is to, uncover what really works. How do world-class people actually train?
Yeah, let's start with Kobe Bryant. The Mamba mentality. There's this story, right? Someone calls him at like 4.15 a.m. for conditioning.
4.15 a.m.
Wow, exactly. And Kobe's already there, totally soaked in sweat. Been working out for hours before the official practice even starts. And his goal wasn't just shoot some hoops. It was specific, measurable, 800 makes. That's purposeful practice.
Purposeful. Okay. That's the key idea here, isn't it? It's not just grit, not just passion. It's how you channel that energy through what's called deliberate practice. And we're going to break that down, give you a kind of playbook.
Right. Because most people, what they do is, well, it's called naive practice. Think about someone typing maybe 70 words a minute. They do that for years, right? But they never get faster.
Because their daily typing isn't focused on improving. It's just doing the job.
Precisely. So you've got naive practice on one end, then you move up to purposeful practice. That's where you have goals, focus, you get feedback, push yourself a bit.
Okay, so purposeful is better than naive.
Much better. But the gold standard, that's deliberate practice. It's purposeful practice, but usually in a field that's well understood, often with expert guidance. It's almost scientific.
Scientific skill building. I like that.
Good.
So what does that actually involve? You mentioned 4 pillars.
Yeah, 4 main things. First, a clearly defined stretch goal. Not vague, like get better. It has to be specific, measurable, and just slightly beyond what you can currently do comfortably.
Like a musician focusing on just one tough part of a song, or that Gaelic football player only using their weaker foot.
Exactly that kind of thing. Super specific. Then second, you need full concentration and effort. This stuff is mentally exhausting. It demands everything. That's why even the top performers often only manage, say, 3 to 5 hours of this a day.
Right. You can't just phone it in. It requires intense focus. Okay, what's third?
Immediate and informative feedback. This is absolutely critical. You need to know right away what went wrong and ideally how to fix it.
So coaches are great here, but you could maybe record yourself, analyze experts.
Yes, perfect examples. Create your own feedback loops. And the fourth pillar is repetition with reflection and refinement. It's not just doing it over and over. It's try, Get feedback. Think about it. Adjust slightly, then try again. It's a cycle.
Attempt, feedback, reflect, adjust, repeat, until you hit that stretch goal.
And then you set a new one, slightly harder. Always pushing.
Okay, this sounds intense, grueling even. What kind of mindset do you need to actually stick with this?
That's where Carol Dweck's work comes in, the growth mindset. You have to believe your abilities can be developed. If you see failure as just information, as a chance to learn, you'll seek out these challenges. A fixed mindset thinking talent is innate, makes you avoid the very things you need to do.
Right, because failing feels like a judgment on your fixed ability. Okay, so what about the 10,000-hour rule we always hear about?
Ah, yes. Malcolm Gladwell popularized it, but it's often misunderstood. The number itself isn't magic.
It's the quality of those hours, isn't it?
Exactly. It's the hours of deliberate practice, often done alone, that really count towards elite performance. High-quality, focused effort.
So deliberate practice feels very analytical, very effortful. How does that fit with the idea of flow, being in the zone where things feel effortless?
Great question. They seem opposite, but they're actually partners. Deliberate practice is the intense work you do to build the skill. Fixing weaknesses, analyzing. Flow is the result. It's what happens when your now high skill level perfectly meets a challenge. Practice is the investment. Flow is the awesome dividend you get later.
Okay, that clarifies things. Practice builds the capacity for flow.
Got it. Who are some people who really lived this? Legends.
Well, Ben Hogan, the golfer, he basically had to reteach himself golf after a horrific accident. He famously used notebooks, meticulously tracking drills. He'd set these incredibly specific goals, like hitting wedges with a tiny total miss distance. He built his own feedback system.
He invented practice for himself. Wow.
And Jerry Rice, maybe the greatest NFL receiver ever. Not the fastest guy, actually.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. But he amplified his strengths through deliberate practice, incredible endurance from running hills daily, intense weight training. He was famous for sprinting all the way after every single catch in practice, long after others quit.
So when defenders got tired late in games, he was still going strong. Huge advantage, built through practice.
Okay, so how can someone listening right now start applying this? What's the playbook for us?
All right, step one, define your why. Why do you want this skill? Connect it to something deeper. That's your fuel.
Makes sense. Motivation is key. Then what?
Find experts, deconstruct what they do, break down the skill, then find your biggest weakness, your bottleneck, and set a specific stretch goal around that.
Like the example earlier. This week, I'll just practice writing opening paragraphs, aiming for the main point in under 25 words.
Perfect. Then design and execute your practice. Plan short, focused, distraction-free sessions, maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour, intense bursts.
And create that feedback loop. This is tough for self-learners, really.
It can be, but learn to ask good questions. Record yourself. Ask a peer, what's one thing I could improve that would make the biggest difference?
Good, specific questions. Then the last step.
Reflect, refine, repeat. Look at the feedback, figure out what to tweak, and go again. And remember, hitting a plateau is normal. It just means you need to change how you're practicing.
Track your progress like Hogan, maybe. Revisit your why.
All good strategies. Keep iterating.
So, wrapping this up, mastery isn't some magical gift. It sounds like it's a craft, available to anyone willing to put in the right kind of work.
Exactly. Grit channeled through deliberate practice. And, Kobe Bryant said it best. The real transformation isn't in what you can do, it's in who you become through the doing.
Powerful stuff. Who you become through the doing.
So the challenge for you listening is, what's one small, specific skill you can start that profound journey with? Maybe even today. What will you begin to become?
Okay, let's dive right in. Picture this. It's the early 1940s. There's this young guy, Gunder Hägg, running in the forests up in northern Sweden.
Right.
And his dad, who's a lumberjack, times him on a 1,500-meter course just using like an old alarm clock. And the news. Incredible. Gunder supposedly ran it in 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
Wow, that's fast for the time.
Exactly. And this amazing time, it totally convinced Gunder he had some kind of natural gift. It sparked this huge dedication. He ended up breaking 15 world records.
But here's a kicker, the really fascinating part of the story. Years down the line, his father admits something. He confessed he'd actually lied about the time.
No way.
Yeah. The real time was 5 minutes and 50 seconds, a whole minute slower.
A full minute. So that whole natural talent idea.
It was completely made up, a fabrication that launched his career, essentially.
So, okay, if it wasn't some magical innate ability, then what actually made Gunder Hegg so great? What's the lesson here for, for us when we think about achieving things?
And that question leads us straight to Angela Duckworth's research on grit.
Right, grit.
So our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack how effort works. It's not just like one ingredient among many. Duckworth shows it's a multiplier.
A multiplier, okay.
Yeah, we want to dismantle this myth of the natural and give you a kind of blueprint for using sustained, focused effort. Because honestly, it's the biggest amplifier for potential we have.
Duckworth really lays this out with two core equations. The first one is talent times effort equals skill. What's the key insight there?
Well, she's saying talent isn't, greatness itself. It's more about how quickly your skills improve when you try.
Okay, so it's a rate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But crucially, without putting in the effort, that talent just sits there. Its potential it's not realized.
Makes sense. And then the second part.
The second equation is skill times effort equals achievement. So even once you've built up some skill, you need another dose of effort, a second application, to actually use that skill productively, to achieve something meaningful with it.
Huh. So effort comes in twice. Once to build skill and again to use it.
Precisely. And this is where it gets really interesting. If you combine those two equations,
okay,
you substitute the first into the second. So talent x effort, which is skill, x effort, achievement.
Which simplifies to talent times effort squared equals achievement.
Exactly. Talent x effort equals achievement. Effort literally counts twice.
Wow.
Think about it like compound interest, but for your abilities. Consistent effort delivers these huge outsized returns over time. Someone with maybe half the talent but double the effort, they can achieve way more.
Because the effort isn't just adding, it's multiplying. That's powerful.
It really is.
And yet, as a society, we seem so obsessed with the idea of the natural, this naturalness bias. Why do we hang on to that so much?
It's a deep-seated thing. Some psychologists even call it a poisonous lie.
Poisonous? Why?
Because it encourages a fixed mindset. It's kind of tempting to believe in innate genius, right? Because then if we struggle, well, maybe we just don't have it.
It gives us an out.
Sort of. It can stop us from even trying, convincing us that ability is fixed. You're either born with it or you're not.
So when we look closer at people we call naturals, what's usually going on beneath the surface?
Often it's this massive hidden iceberg of effort. You see the tip, the achievement, but underneath is just hours and hours, years maybe, of really hard, consistent work.
That makes me think of Michael Jordan. People talk about him being cut from his high school team.
Right, though the reality was a bit different. He was put on the junior varsity team.
Okay, JV. But still, that perceived rejection didn't stop him. It actually fueled him, didn't it? His mom told him basically, if you want it, work for it this summer.
And he did, relentlessly. He turned that setback into this incredible drive and dedication, not just raw talent.
Or J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter, she was really struggling. Single mother, on welfare.
And facing rejection after rejection. 12 publishers turned down the manuscript.
12. They told her kids wouldn't read long books about magic.
Imagine. Her success wasn't some overnight flash of genius. It was absolutely a result of monumental perseverance. Her skill, sure, but multiplied by that incredible sustained effort.
So what powers that kind of effort, that ability to keep going?
That really connects to Carol Dweck's work on mindset, specifically the growth mindset.
Okay, growth versus fixed.
Exactly. Fixed mindset says your abilities are set in stone. You've got what you've got. Growth mindset says abilities can be developed, they can grow through dedication and hard work.
And there's a cycle there, isn't there, between grit and mindset?
Absolutely. It's reciprocal. Grit, sticking with things, shows you that effort does lead to results, which fuels a growth mindset. And that growth mindset, believing you can improve, strengthens your grit to keep pushing. It's an upward spiral.
So let's bring this home for you listening. How can you actually apply these ideas? We've got a couple of takeaways.
Okay, first one. Try doing an effort gap audit.
An effort gap audit.
Yeah. Think about an area where you feel like you lack talent. Maybe you think, I'm just not good at X. Consciously reframe that. Ask yourself, is it really a talent gap? Or is it an effort gap? Then brainstorm maybe 3 specific concrete actions you could take that are purely effort-based.
Like if I think I'm bad at networking, maybe my actions are commit to reaching out to 1 new person a week. Or practice my elevator pitch for 10 minutes daily.
Exactly, that kind of thing. tangible effort.
Yep.
Okay, second takeaway. Track the process. Celebrate the effort.
Type the process.
For whatever goal you have, shift your focus. Don't just track the outcome, like book finished or weight lost. Track your inputs.
The effort itself.
Yes, track row for 30 focused minutes or did my planned workout. And then celebrate that consistent effort as the real win. It decouples your feeling of progress from just the immediate results, which can fluctuate.
That makes a lot of sense, celebrating the work itself.
It builds momentum and reinforces the growth mindset.
All right, so we usually like to leave you with something to chew on.
Yeah, a final thought to ponder. If achievement really is this marathon of strategic, sustained work, and the most critical variable, effort, is actually completely within your control, then think about the successes you see around you, the ones that look natural. How many of those are really just monumental icebergs hiding immense effort beneath the surface? And more importantly, what new possibilities does knowing this unlock for your own potential?
Okay, so here's something I think we all wonder about, right? Why do some people achieve, remarkable success, while others may be just as talented? They just stall.
It's a fundamental question, yeah. And today, we're diving into Angela Duckworth's work on grit.
Right, the power of passion and perseverance. It tries to answer exactly that. What is it that really drives achievement?
Exactly. And crucially, how you can actually cultivate it.
Okay, so let's start there. What is grit, according to Duckworth? Is it just like stubbornness?
No, not just stubbornness. It's more nuanced. It's this unique blend, really, of sustained passion and perseverance.
Sustained passion. Correct.
Yeah, passion that lasts. And perseverance. Both aimed at really long-term goals, things that take time.
And importantly, she says it's not fixed, right? Not something you're just born with.
Absolutely key. She really emphasizes that it's a skill, something you can build, you can develop over time.
Okay, so if it's buildable, how does it compare to things we often think predict success, like, raw talent or IQ?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. This is probably Duckworth's most, maybe, surprising finding.
Yeah.
She argues that effort counts twice.
Twice? How does that work?
Okay, so think of it like this. Talent might determine how quickly you pick up a skill when you start putting in effort.
Right, like a natural aptitude.
Exactly. But then, effort also builds that skill through practice. So, talent times effort equals skill.
Okay.
But then, effort comes in again. It's the effort you apply to that skill that actually leads to achievement. So, skill times effort equals achievement. Effort gets counted 2 times.
Wow. Okay, so effort is like, it's multiplying things at 2 different stages.
Precisely. It means someone with, say, less initial talent, but immense grit through sheer consistent effort can actually surpass someone who's maybe more naturally gifted, but doesn't stick with it.
That makes success seem much more democratic, I guess. Less about just innate gifts.
That's a great way to put it. It really highlights the power of perseverance.
So our mission here is to unpack this, understand how grit works, and find some actionable ways for you to apply it.
Let's do it.
A really core idea for applying grit seems to be this concept of the goal hierarchy. Can you walk us through that?
Sure. So imagine your goals are kind of stacked like a pyramid.
Okay.
At the bottom, you've got your low-level goals. These are the concrete things, your daily tasks, the stuff you're doing right now.
Like finish this report, make that call.
Exactly. Then above those are your mid-level goals. These explain why you're doing the daily tasks. They connect the dots.
So the why behind the what.
Right. And then at the very, very top,
Yeah.
that's your ultimate concern.
The ultimate concern.
Sounds big.
It is. It's that one singular overarching goal that gives meaning and direction to everything else below it. It's often tied to your identity, who you want to be.
Okay, so how does grit relate to this pyramid? Do you just stubbornly stick to every goal?
No, and that's the crucial part. Duckworth says true grit involves being absolutely tenacious about that top-level goal, your ultimate concern.
Right. But you need to be flexible, even willing to abandon or change the lower-level and mid-level goals if they're not serving that ultimate concern anymore.
So it's strategic, not just blind persistence on task.
Exactly. It's knowing when to pivot on the how, but never giving up on the ultimate why.
That makes a lot more sense. So what fuels that perseverance, especially for the top goal? Duckworth talks about practice, right? But not just any practice.
Right. She specifies deliberate practice. This isn't just going through the motions. It's focused effort, pushing yourself just beyond your comfort zone.
Okay.
Actively seeking feedback, even critical feedback, and really zeroing in on improving specific weaknesses. Yeah, it's hard work.
So it's focused, intentional effort that actually builds the skill needed for the big goal.
Precisely. That's the engine that turns perseverance into real mastery.
And another huge fuel she mentions is connecting your efforts to a purpose, something bigger than yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Purpose. When you feel your work contributes to something beyond just you maybe helping others or advancing a cause you believe in, it provides this deep, intrinsic motivation. It makes it easier to push through the tough times because it's not just about you.
It gives that ultimate concern real meaning.
Yeah, it answers the why in a really powerful way.
Okay, so purpose, deliberate practice. What about day-to-day? Any other practical ways Duckworth suggests for building grit?
A big one is mindset, specifically how you handle setbacks.
The inevitable failures or obstacles.
Right. Gritty people tend to see those not as like signs they should quit, but as learning opportunities. It's that growth mindset idea, believing you can improve.
So failure isn't final, it's feedback.
Well put. And another thing is your environment. Surrounding yourself with other gritty, supportive people.
Yeah.
That culture of perseverance can be contagious.
Yeah, your gritty support system.
It really matters.
So wrapping this up, the core message seems to be, well, it's not necessarily about who starts with the most talent.
Not at all. It's about who's willing to commit to that long-term goal, that ultimate concern with passion and perseverance.
And applying effort consistently, strategically, using deliberate practice.
Exactly. Success is attainable through that sustained dedication. Being tough on the ultimate goal, but flexible in how you get there.
So maybe the thing for you, the listener, to reflect on is, what is your ultimate concern? That single top-level goal.
Identifying that is step one.
And then think about how you can apply these ideas. Treating setbacks as learning, practicing deliberately, finding that purpose, building that supportive environment.
Yeah, these are the levers you can pull to cultivate your own grit and, reach those ambitious goals.
And maybe a final thought. Stepping back, think about the societal impact.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, imagine if we could create more environments, workplaces, schools, communities that really help people connect what they do day to day to a larger sense of purpose.
Right. Fostering that connection more broadly.
It could potentially build collective resilience, collective achievement, couldn't it? Beyond just individual grit. Something bigger.
That's a powerful idea to consider.
Yeah.
How fostering purpose could strengthen us all.
That's all for this episode of the Deep Dive Cast. Thanks for joining us. We hope you gained some valuable insights. Be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world's best ideas. Until then, keep learning and growing.